Hey, what's up guys, in this video we're going to talk about private fields and method in JavaScript. So we can make our fields and methods as private with the new ES 2020 syntax. So we can use hash followed by the field name or the method name to make them private. Now when we make our fields and methods private, then we cannot access them from outside of the class. Like in example, we have one class counter. Now inside the class we can have one field like count. We can make the field as a private field by using the hash. So now this is one private field. Now because this is one private field, we cannot access that from outside of the class, but we can use that within the class. So we can use it inside the constructor and we can initialize the value of the count to 0, and also we can use that inside another method. Like in example, we have one increment method, and inside the increment method we can increase the value of the count by 1. Now if we create one object, so we have to write new counter. Now because the count is a private field, if we try to access that, so if we write c1.count, so you can see we are getting the error private field count. So because the count is private, we cannot access that from outside of the class. But there are ways we can access this outside of the class. So we can create one getter method. So we're gonna write get count. From inside the method we can return the value of count. So we can write c1.count, and if we console log, so you can see we have the value as 0 because it is initialized to 0. Now we can call the increment method multiple times to increase the value of this count field. So you can see after 2 increment the value of the count is 2, and also we can make the count field as a static also. So we have to use the static keyword. So now the private field is static now. So because that is static, belongs to the whole class, so we have to use the class name to access the count. So we have to replace this with the class name. So we're gonna write counter. So you can see now the code is working fine. Similar to the private field, we can also have the private methods. So we can define one private method. So we have to write hash and then the method name like log count. So this method will just simply console log the current count of this counter. Now because this is one private method that cannot be accessed from outside of the class, this method will only be accessible from within the class. So we can call the method from inside another method. So inside the increment we can call that. So we have to write this dot hash log count. So you can see whenever we call this method along with the increment, also we are logging the current value of the count. And also we can make the private method static also. So we can use the static keyword to make the method as a static method. Now because this is now a static method that does not belong to any instance of that class, rather it belongs to the entire class. So we have to use the class name to call the method. So we have to write counter dot log count, and now you can see our code is working fine. So this private field and method will help in encapsulating logic and minimizing exposure of object internals. So this is the way we can create private fields and private methods in JavaScript. So hope you understand the concept. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.